So I went to see the new Hunger Games film last night, Catching Fire, and it was brilliant. I love those films. My inner tween had the best time ever, and so did I, to be honest. I just thought it was so fun, and I've always loved those kind of like really teenagey kind of films. I just think they're so fun. But what I particularly love about the film is the aesthetic. I love the makeup and the fashion, the capital couture that they have in the capital. But I really loved some of the makeups that Katniss had on in some of the different scenes, particularly the one where she's at that dance and she was wearing the red eye with the double winged look. So I wanted to do something very similar to that. Now, there's almost no good photos of it yet on the internet because I suppose the film is too new, so I had to try and do it as best as I could from memory. But I remember sitting in the cinema last night going, okay, remember that the bottom line was really straight out from her bottom lash line, and remember that the other one went really up, and blah blah blah. So I was trying to keep as close to what I could remember from it, but I did have to change a few stuff obviously to adapt to my own eye shape, because my eyes couldn't be any more different to Jennifer's if they tried, and of course my eyebrows and everything. But I did make a few changes. Besides that, like I put gold glitter on top because I thought it'd be fun to make this, because of obviously the time of year that's in it. I wanted to make it a bit more Christmassy, and then I decided to do a quick kind of outfit just at the end of the video after you see the makeup, just to show you how if I was, say, to go out maybe to a fancy dress, Christmas party dressed as, you know, Katniss or whatever, how I might dress in my own kind of capital couture outfit. So I hope you like this, guys. There'll be a full list of products on the blog as usual, or possibly below as well in the info, just check there. And in the meantime, thanks a million for watching. See you all soon, guys. Slán! So I started off by applying a light concealer around the eye area. Because I'm using glitter in this look, I definitely wanted to leave my foundation and base till after I finished off the eyes. Next I applied a light skin coloured paint pot just to below the brows and also to the inner corners where I get a lot of discoloration. This is just really good for covering anything that the concealer didn't cover. And then to make life easy on myself, I just drew in the angle of the wing using a tissue and some white pencil. I will be using the tissue later on, but this just means that I don't have to think so hard about where to apply it later on so that they're even. I applied my most red based cream eyeshadow then to the lid using my fingers. I wasn't too careful about it yet, but once I got to the outer edge where the wing is, I moved onto an angled brush so I could be more precise about where to apply it. Katniss's look didn't have any like shimmery highlights in it, so I used this matte Inglot colour just to apply it to the brow bone and to the inner corner, just to lighten it up a little bit. And from what I could remember of the film, her red eyeshadow underneath the glitter seemed to be quite matte, so I applied this intense warm red matte colour by Inglot to the main part of my lid fairly quickly at first, and then when I got to the outer wing area I slowed down and applied that tissue again so that I could quickly just colour in the wing without having to worry about cleaning it up afterwards. Once I had the body of it filled in intense enough, I just started to buff around the top of it just to soften it up, and then I could take away the tissue and start to blend around the top of the crease as I normally would and just make sure it was perfectly blended out. And I changed to a clean blending brush then just to make sure it was perfectly buffed around the edges. Then using a very fine tipped brush, I started to draw in some eyeliner above my top lash line, keeping it fairly thin, particularly on the inner corner, and then extended this out to match exactly the wing shape that was drawn in earlier on with the eyeshadow. Then using a very thin, stiff angled brush and a matte black eyeshadow, I used this to line my bottom lash line and to extend that little line coming out from the bottom lash line. I find it's easier to use an eyeshadow at first because if I make a mistake, I can easily wipe it away with a cotton bud and then reapply it without any mess. And I wanted the inner corner to come down a little bit from my tear duct so that it would resemble kind of the shape of a bird a little bit more when you saw the entire eye design. I applied a little bit of that same matte red eyeshadow to fill in that gap just below the tear duct and above the eyeliner. And I used a white cream makeup and another tiny wee brush just to fill in the gap between those two lines extending out from the edge of my eye. And I just used the tip of my finger then to blend out the edge of this one so it was far out enough from the rest of the eye makeup. I applied a black kohl pencil then to the centre of the waterline only, avoiding the corners so that it would look like it was running perfectly down into the line below the lash line. And I traced over the bottom wing with my liquid eyeliner again and that very finely tipped brush, as well as the line extending below my tear duct on the inner corner. I applied some of Inglot's Duraline Mix-In Medium, which is this great tacky kind of liquid that will set. And I applied this over the matte eyeshadow first before pressing on some of MAC's 3D Gold Glitter on top. And once it was on, it does get quite messy, so I did go over my top eyeliner off camera again just to make sure it was black and clean again. And then I used some sticky tape on the rest of my face to remove any of the loose glitter. I applied several coats of a volumizing mascara to my top lashes just so that they would be quite defined and voluminous without having to use false lashes, because I didn't want to overtake the eyeliner and the rest of the eye makeup. And then I applied a defining mascara to the bottom lashes. Once the eye makeup was done, I started to apply my foundation. So I chose a demi-matte medium coverage foundation, as Katniss's own skin was always flawless, but you could still see a little bit of her freckles through it, and it was neither too matte or shiny. Then after applying any concealer that was needed, which didn't seem to get filmed for some reason, I set everything in place using a mattifying powder with a satin finish so that it wasn't too flat, and then I started on the eyebrows. So Katniss, or Jennifer, has very thin and defined eyebrows in the film, which I obviously can't copy, so I just didn't want to go overboard with my own, so I just filled in any gap with a light pencil and then used a tinted gel to keep them in place and brush the hairs to where I wanted them to go. Using a face powder several shades darker than my own skin tone, I use this to contour below my cheekbones and also along my nose, since Katniss's and Jennifer's own nose is way slimmer at the tip than mine. And I applied a very nude natural blush to the apples of my cheeks as well. Apart from her eye makeup, the rest of her makeup was very classy and nude and girly and really, really pretty. I first primed my lips and then filled them in using a very pinky nude neutral lip liner and overlined my top lip a little bit so that it would be a little bit more like Jennifer's own lips. And then to finish everything off, I just ran a lovely nude lip crayon over the entire lip shape to give a very subtle gloss and finish to the lip. Then for the outfit, I chose this class grid cutout dress from Romwe.com. It's a real fun, playful dress, and it has that hint of kind of futurism about it, which I think works perfectly for the capital couture kind of outfits you see in the film. And I layered this beautiful baroque detailed skirt underneath to give that hint of quirkiness, as well as the gold that is a big thing for Katniss in the film. Then for my outerwear, I chose this black and red colour block structured coat from Romwe. The fit and cut of this jacket, along with the fake leather sleeves, just kind of adds to that futuristic kind of look that I was kind of hoping to achieve, but still keeping it wearable. And I really think the layered fabric on the front of the jacket really adds interest to the whole look as well. I picked these gorgeous shoe boots up in Dunnes Stores just this week for only €30, and I'm absolutely in love with them. I actually wore them all day today around town, and I've been in town for like 7 hours, and they're so comfortable, really comfortable to walk in. The dress is actually a really loose fitting dress, so I added this belt from Penneys just to add a little bit more structure to the dress. And the tights are also from Penneys, and you mightn't be able to see it here, but they have a really beautiful gold baroque design on them. I kept the accessories simple except for these gold rings that I chose to keep again in with the gold theme that Katniss has throughout the film. And that finishes off the entire look and outfit, so I hope you like this, guys. Thanks a million for watching, and chat to you soon. Slán!